This is what's it called? Let me the network. This one is hey, we are ready to go. You say
Yes,
something?
yes, yes. Good afternoon, good evening. And we are getting real close to the holidays, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. What
Yes.
holiday, holy day, in between day, and my day, your day? Who knows what day it
Every
is?
day.
Every
Every
day.
day.
Okay, every
And
day's a holiday.
you know what we have to do in every day
No, we don't.
in this holiday?
What's that?
We have to be hot in our relationships.
Hot in our
Yes.
relationship. Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's good. That's good. I like the fact that we need to be hot in our. Look with that. Someone just put up a big hot button. Do that again, Mr. Engineer. Put that hot button up again.
Wow.
Wow. I
I
don't,
like
where's that been
that.
all that time? Wow. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that hot button, Sharon?
HOT is an acronym which means honest, open, and transparent.
Okay,
And that's one of those things that we we
right there.
talk about all the time because it is very important in the relationship.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering you found that, but oh, there it is.
Oh, you're on the same
Yeah,
page.
okay, tell us. Yeah, what's
Yeah,
what a bit more about that button?
you can get that hot button for $5, or
Mm-hmm.
you can for the rest of this month you can try us out as we are relationship coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You can try us out and see how we work with you and your in within your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you will earn a hot button that way.
Yes, earn that hot button
Yes.
right there.
And that is a free session.
Yeah, right at the bottom, you can go ahead and text us or email us. Is it there at the bottom someplace? Is it someplace again?
No.
There it is,
Oh,
right
there it
there.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, look
Yes.
at that.
Email is ttjt at
Mm-hmm.
takingthejourney-together.com.
Mm.
ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com.
Get that hot button. Oh, wow.
And a session, a free session with us.
Exactly. Kind of
Yeah.
help you out, things you want to do, things you don't want to do, and guide you a direction where you want to
Yeah,
be. That's
especially
what's
through the
better important.
holidays. Holidays are difficult for some couples.
You think so?
I do, because some holidays are difficult for some people. I've always noticed that with a lot of different people I've come in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
They can be some of the nicest, easiest going people um, most of the year, but then let a major holiday that has memories with it,
Mm-hmm.
come along, and quite often they become sullen and they become quiet and they become,
Mm.
withdrawn, aloof, all of that.
What's is there? Well, go ahead. I'm doing
No, no,
something too. So
that's
no, go right ahead.
well,
Some people probably think about it, feeling about the same thing too.
yeah, and it's a high depression time.
High depression time.
Yeah,
Mm.
and when a lot of us are running around talking about, oh, joy, 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 and happy,
Mm-hmm.
happy, happy. Um,
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes not everybody has happy memories
Mm.
of this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it kind of difficult for them.
Mm.
And we have to be sensitive to that and
Yeah, we should
understanding
be.
of that.
We should be.
Yeah.
How about if we're not having a good time when it comes to the holiday, when it comes to between in our relationships? What happens if there's something that when the holiday comes and you are not feeling too good in your relationship during that particular
Hmm.
time? What do we kind of do? And by the way, this is taking the journey together, and I'm what?
You're not Groot. You are, you're,
I'm R.
I'm Mar.
People call me Craig. And
And I'm Zare or
for
Sharon.
those of the first time who are listening to Taking the Journey Together, I thought we get down to those brass tacks so people know who we
Yeah,
are,
that's
what we're talking about too,
kind of important.
especially those who have took the time out to be with us
Yeah.
before. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what our motto is too at the same time? That might help some people out.
It is, we are going to relate. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what our mother, father, or anybody else says, we are going to relate. I'm trying to shorten it here.
Mm-hmm.
But at Taking the Journey, we would like to uh, instill in people the idea of relating in a balanced way.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say a balanced way, we mean finding someone and building a relationship from friendship to lovership and maintaining that friendship all the way through, in which case you will end up marrying or cohabiting or committing to a long-term relationship with your
Mm-hmm.
friend and your lover.
Yes, yes, friend and lovers. We can be lovers and friends all at the same
You
time.
don't have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to fight you and then have to hate you after that.
Exactly.
Oh no,
Whatever
love you
that
after
means.
that.
Yeah.
Or they call that makeup sex. It happens.
Yeah.
Or turn around. I don't know you sex.
Yes.
Who was you
Like,
anyway today?
let me
Mm.
let me smooge, is that what they call it?
Mhm.
Smooze, something like that.
So today we're
Smooge.
going to carry on what we did before.
Yes.
People have emailed us or told us how they like the open forum. Oh yeah, we could very easily come up with another element. We have so many different elements that we
Yes,
could
you
talk
don't have to
about.
come up with them. They're already sitting there ready to
Exactly. I mean,
go.
every day that we live life and observe our life, especially as relationship coaches and just in general, looking at relationships,
Mhm.
we can always find those elements in the relationship, good, bad, in
Yes.
between, and discuss them and talk about it, especially since every day we're living with one another.
Yes, we are.
And so there's something different happening or something new that may be happening we're not really paying attention to. And we
Mhm.
should in our relationship
Yes.
to make it more of a venture and make it more of a connection that we're conscious of. And at the same time, I think it would also move us to be a lot more authentic too.
Mhm.
It's amazing how we watch TV shows every day, especially the TV shows that are series that like soap operas, or at least they're like TV shows that we get to peek on their life every day, right? And usually when we peek on their life, they're doing something different than what they did before. And
Yeah.
while they're doing something different that they did before, they're doing something different in a couple of minutes, couple of 5 minutes, half an hour,
Mhm.
15 minutes that you're watching the show, probably 15 to a half an hour to be
Yeah.
exact. But they're doing something different all that time. And you're waiting for that difference. You're watching that difference. You're checking out the difference from the name to the individuals that you saw to whatever they drank, whatever they sat down, whatever they moved. To
How
that,
they dress.
exactly. And when it's all over, it was one particular series or what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, one particular series, right? You got a whole name to that
Yeah.
series. And we try to remember it. We don't even think about it in our own life. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
If somebody was
Every
watching
day is an episode.
exactly. That's what I meant. Episode. Somebody could be watching our life every day. Sometimes people think someone's
Yeah.
speaking on your life, whether it's your angels, your ancestors,
Mhm.
God, or somebody's
Yeah.
watching you. Are you conscious? But yeah, it's like an episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we look at our lives as an episode, then maybe we will be more about our lives.
Oh, so we're going to sit in the crowd and watch ourselves?
No, but we should be aware of what we're doing.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
But maybe sometimes, some people don't. They're not too aware. They're more concerned about who's. They're not even thinking about it. Someone who's sitting in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like what is this? Said you're always on stage.
Exactly. But nowadays, people will sit in the crowd and watch their lives because they're always doing videos
Oh,
and
yeah,
selfies and things
selfies.
like that.
They're,
Yeah.
they're the YouTube influencers. That's all about their life and what
Yeah.
their lives are doing.
And
So
some
they
of them,
themselves-
nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
But
not doing anything really.
yeah, I think it has to do with.
Sorry.
That's all right. I
I'm
think it has to do with. There's the now generation and time on in this universe where the
Yeah.
concern for an individual is important.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you as an individual, you're important. Just like when we do the Taking the Journey show between
Mhm.
you and me, I mean, we're not big politicians. We're not well known in the psychology, the counseling world,
Coaching.
anything like that. We're not running for any kind of office.
Yes.
From that particular end, we may do some things that community people know about it, but not very known in the public from that particular end.
Mhm.
But yet we're doing a show sharing what we feel and what we think
Yes.
that has to
And
do
what
with
we've
give back and
experienced.
exactly. So
Yeah.
we are living during a time where people's thoughts and their feelings they feel is important. I mean, you can get on the internet, you can see people way in Tanzania, you can see people way in Timbuktu. I'm just paraphrasing,
Mhm.
and they're on a live
Yeah.
live
Mhm.
streaming over their phone,
Exactly.
something they're doing, and people are watching them.
And
Whether they
that's
have a lot of
and
people or not, they're still doing that.
yeah.
And they could have been living ditch poor as can be.
Mhm.
No one knew nothing about them before that time, but now they've got an audience.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
we're kind of living that world of the audience. So hopefully the audience in the show you're doing is something that's going to be worthwhile, something that you give back in life, something that some other person is touched by, something where you can leave that person better
Mhm.
than they were before.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I agree with that. And when you're talking about, people not even knowing that other people existed until they show up,
Mm-hmm.
from that standpoint, say 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm. Someone just said good evening.
I never would have, oh, good evening.
Yes. How's that pronounced? Ellis?
I don't know how to pronounce the first name, but
Mm-hmm. We know Ellis is.
Mr. Ellis said we can do that one.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see you back. Good evening
Yes.
to you too. At the same time, hopefully you're again doing good for the holidays with your family and your friends. If not, we sure hope that you would spend some time, if not even with your own self,
Yeah.
when it comes to these beautiful. Well, you can create them as being a beautiful
Mhm.
holiday. You really
Yeah.
can. Go ahead.
And I was just saying, 15 years ago, I
Mhm.
never would have thought or dreamed that I would be doing this. I mean,
Mhm.
I was in a position where I had people who knew who I was just because of, some other things that I was doing. But an audience situation like this, or
Mhm.
this, no, it would have, you never would have thought.
Never would have dawned on you.
No, it didn't dawn on me.
Dawn
I
of
was
day.
very comfortable living behind the scenes,
Yes.
flying
Yes.
under the radar, as they
As they
say.
say. Yeah. And you'll be surprised. It's open forum. Yeah. Jeffrey, open forum. You'll be surprised today that there are many flying under the scene radar people
Mhm.
who are using the internet like this,
Yeah.
YouTube, um, s- um, um, podcasts,
Mhm.
streaming, to no longer um, um, virtually wise be under the radar.
Right.
I would bet when the camera is off, okay,
Mhm.
and the streaming is done in front of their TV or the laptop or the desktop
Right.
or the phone, I would bet a lot of them, and we know that too, don't even have physical people that they know very closely.
Right.
Family who is physical
Mhm.
know very close. They might leave out a very open, empty room. It could be a nice looking room,
Yeah.
but as empty as can be.
Exactly.
Nobody really knows what they're doing whatsoever, except for those individual people who they're talking to, like we're talking to
Uh-huh.
you on the internet,
Yeah.
trying to give you some information. And that's their tribe. That's their connection. You're our connection, our tribe. And that's all they have.
Yeah.
Once they leave this virtual world, they're just as
Yeah.
you said, under the
Flying
radar.
under
No
the
one knows
radar.
them. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was listening to a show today. Somebody was talking about how there was a young gentleman who was a dancer. I can't remember his name, and he gave his last, if you may want to call it, testimony over the internet in his home. And he, on the other hand, has a lot of people that follow him. He's a dancer. He also played as a star
Is that
on show.
is that the one that they were saying used to be on? And some of my students were talking
Mhm.
about somebody, but is that the one that they said was on Ellen's show?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I listened to his last particular, which you may want to call testimonial words that he said of wisdom when it comes to how people think and how people feel and how it seems to be, especially when it comes to African American males and how we're being killed at a high number. No one seems to care at all,
Mhm.
but they care when there's, white on white crime and some other stuff he was talking about. He was very hurt and very passionate about how it seems like no one really cares anymore. No one has any heart to want to change it because it keeps happening over and over and over and over again. And then the very next day, he committed suicide. I
Wow.
watched his testimony.
Mhm.
I could tell he was depressed. I could tell that he, in turn, was definitely in a funk, if you may want to say.
Mhm.
But I didn't see any signs of, wow, my testimony, what I'm speaking of, is so bad. It's so unmoving to me, and it brings anguish to me of how what
Yeah.
the world is doing, that I'm going to actually kill myself. You couldn't even
Can't take it
tell that.
anymore.
Yeah. Or you couldn't
Yeah.
even tell that in this conversation. And that's one of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That though we're on here, we're talking to you, we're trying to, make a connection with you, no doubt about it. We're trying to move in such a way that you're going to be doing good in your relationship, expanding in your relationship. But you might be in a relationship where no one's really talking to one another. You're basically there, but the other person is not there.
Yeah.
And just like with this internet, though we're virtually connecting, you may never see us. We may never know you whatsoever. Or you could leave once this internet show is done and you've got nobody around you. No
Right,
family's going to
right.
visit you. You really work outside of a door where nobody knows you on your job. You really nobody any other place, or you live most of the time even in your house. And that's a real reality that we have to face in this virtual world.
Yeah.
It's virtual when whoever, can you stop for a minute?
I am.
Whoever we talk to, whenever we're
It
relating
is.
to, but it's not that physical,
Right. And
face
that
to
makes
face
all the
dealing with
difference.
humans.
Yeah.
That's the difference
Yeah.
that we're not getting.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of psychologists and counselors saying, though we are connecting with people around the world, though there are influencers who are influence people to buy
Right.
material things, people are not getting closer. People are not finding ways to be able to relate better in relationships, especially when it comes to divorce,
Yeah.
when it comes to abuse, when it comes to separation. It's at an all-time
Yeah.
high right now, but nobody really wants to talk about it.
Because it's so easy to it's easy to lose yourself or get distracted or allow your distractions to really become more of an attraction to something that you don't need to be attracted to.
Mhm.
It's so many things there. It's almost like hyper.
Good evening, Mike Kelly. How are you doing? We're good. We're glad to see that you're back again with us. Hopefully, you've had a good weekend and a good week, and hopefully that you're having a good holiday too at the same time. Thank you for showing up on the show. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your loved ones, and even your enemies to make sure they stop in and just kind of listen to the end of the show and
share.
And share. Exactly. That's what I meant. I meant the word share. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's okay. Because that was important.
Mhm.
But we really need to remember what we were talking about because
We're
I
talking
lost my
about
thought.
how
No,
people
I
look at the
lost my
virtual
thought
world.
of what. Oh yeah, yeah. And so it's almost like over sensitizing. I can't talk. It's almost like having too many things coming at you at the same time.
Mhm. Slow it down.
And so, yeah, but you slow it down by focusing on the things that sometimes you
Take it
can
easy. control.
Especially it's an escape. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
You
yeah.
escape by getting into the things that separate you from other people.
The cartoons that are coming, that are out as movies,
Mhm.
Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
whether it's from Batman, whether it's from Spider-Man, whether it's from Wakanda, all of these movies that you're coming back now, they're not reality shows.
Right.
These are not even the fantasy shows that we're used to seeing. They are just, how can I say it? Quite frankly, way out there. Clothes, dress, time, age, what they actually do. These are comic
Their
book
abilities.
heroes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Escapism is so much very real right now. People not wanting to face one another, not wanting to face the realities, whether the isms that we deal with, whether it's the sicknesses that we deal with, whether it's the poverty we deal with, whether it's the violence that we deal with. All those things we're using escapism to keep us from actually being people to try to connect and work things out together. As we believe we can do in our relationships
Mhm.
if we take our time out and try to work together as we take this journey and this venture together. I
Yeah.
think that's very, very important. Yeah.
It is. It definitely is. And especially now. Now
Hmm.
is a good time because we are we understand that holidays are often triggers for people to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Um, and so this is a good time for us to start getting in the habit of checking in with our loved ones.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
wake up in the morning and the first thing you say is, "Good morning. How are you? What kind of day do you plan on having?" or something like that. But if you start doing that now, we've got like 3 weeks until the new year. If you start doing that now, it will become a habit.
Hmm.
And so you will start connecting with your partner even more and regularly and in a more um spontaneous and natural way. That's what I'm looking at.
Exactly.
In a more
Exactly.
natural way.
We can't let the the connection of the internet that does it so fast,
Mhm.
that does it so quick. You don't have to worry about taking a bus. You don't have to worry about
Right.
flying to ever substitute us connecting to another human being,
Mhm.
another
Yeah.
person. As long as we're still flesh and blood
Right.
persons.
Right.
Now, when we start becoming autonomous, as they call automatons or robots, that might be a whole different story. If we get as far as to be in the virtual world, digital world, and yet we have some kind of real consciousness attached to it, wow, that's ether stuff.
Yeah.
Some people say we're being more spiritual than if that
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother story. But still, the need for us to um 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 take that personal time to know each other
Mhm.
and not let the internet say, well, my favorites and how many I have is my determination of how well, how healthy, how vibrant, and how a real successful I am in life.
Yeah.
And people will do that when it
Mhm.
comes to my likes and how many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in this case, I'm on Twitter and I have over 100. I don't, but I'm on Twitter and I got over 100,000 likes. So I know I have a hundred
Yeah.
thousand people that like me, but you walk out your door and you open up the door, all you hear is crickets.
Yeah, exactly.
You walk down the street,
Exactly.
no one's paying attention to you
You walk
whatsoever.
around your house and
Mhm.
all you hear is crickets because it's just you.
Exactly.
There are people who keep their TVs on all the time. And I often wonder, is it because you don't want to hear yourself or you don't think anybody wants to hear you?
Yeah, you don't want to hear yourself think.
Yeah,
So you let the TV replace your thoughts. Some people call it the
exactly.
idiot box,
Yes.
replace your thoughts.
Uh, you know, um, and I'm guilty of that sometimes too.
Mhm.
When I'm working on something or whatnot, I'll turn on the TV and I could care less about what's on the TV. It's background noise. And I
Mhm.
got into that habit when I was a child. Well, not a child, but
With your
like,
sister.
no.
She has
Uh-uh.
the TV on all the
Oh,
time.
she does that now.
Okay.
But when we were growing up, she did not do that.
Oh, okay.
No, things like that were
Mhm.
structured in the house
Oh, okay.
when we were growing up. But as when I was like in college, I
Mhm.
had a TV in my room,
Mhm.
and I would have it on as like background noise while I'm studying because I would close the door and want to my room and want everything else left out, but I couldn't deal with the absolute quiet. And so I would just have it on as background noise as I was doing
You
other
absolutely don't want
things.
to hear yourself think.
I
That's what that is.
sometimes I really didn't, but I had to trudge through it. And that was the thing. I would think about other things because it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily
How
exciting.
how many of us today basically either we like being to ourselves and hearing our thoughts and traveling with our thoughts, talking to ourselves with our thoughts, and how many was like, no, I don't want to be by myself because I don't like what my thoughts think.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
I
like
don't
what they're
like
presenting.
myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even in a relationship, sometimes, and that's what we're referring to, of course,
Mhm.
relationships right now, what we're talking about. You could be with your mate, you could be right with them physically, and yet you have no conversation because you two don't really relate to one another. It's
Yeah.
almost just as well as if she was on a computer in China and you on a computer and you in Australia. and the monitors were on, and you walk past each other in the front and the back while you do your thing, but you make no connection whatsoever. It's still not the same, and you're
Right.
physically being in the place, but you make no serious
Mhm.
and what I call an energy connection, whether it's
Exactly.
eye to eye, whether it's touch,
Mhm.
whether it's actually back and forth dialogue, or your energies at least are shared with one
Yes.
another. You don't even do that at all.
Or even just laughing about something together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can find the humor in the same thing and you laugh about it together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's still a connection. You know, people don't realize, or maybe they just take it for granted that when you are laughing, or you're just even making faces or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a communication and it's still a connection with somebody.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Definitely. Hey, let's real quickly. Let's go to a commercial. We're going a little bit earlier. Early. We're going early to our commercial. But we're going to go to commercial real quickly, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. If you got any questions, you got any concerns, this is open forward. Hey, make sure don't feel
Or
afraid,
statements
don't
or
feel
thoughts.
comfortable. We're going to start doing open forum more. People have asked us to say, have your those who are watching this chime in, say what they feel, say what they're thinking, and us answer instead of us always giving you so much elements, so much knowledge, so much information that could be overwhelming. And you're like, I can't take it. No, there's some things that you got to say. There's some things that are on your mind. We'd be glad to listen to it. Others might be able to listen to it. Nothing stupid whatsoever about it. And we basically then have a chance to share with one another.
And everything has the potential to help somebody.
All right, let's go to commercial. Whoa, what a commercial. We're going to try to make sure we can get some more commercials to help support this great doing
Yes.
and that's going on not only on Facebook, but also you can get it on YouTube for those who watch on YouTube. And of course, you can go to
Roku.
and you can also see us on Roku. Such great things we're doing. And we're so glad about it. Well, hopefully, in fact, I know we're helping some people out there, helping them move it ahead. As for all of the other great shows, pretty soon we're going to have something. I think next year we're going to make sure we have some guests. We've been talking to so many different couples, and some that we've met here, some that basically are from out of town.
Yes.
And with this virtual, we're going to get them on and have a chance to and have them discuss some of the things what they feel about relationships, so it won't be just you and I all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's such a variety of thriving relationships.
Mhm.
It's not just one type.
One style.
Exactly. Different people relate in their relationships in ways that they have found that works for them, and they're happy with that.
And the ones that we know that we'll be presenting, I will let you know right now what one of the things that are very in common with them, or always in common with them, of course, is that foundation called friendship.
Yeah.
They will tell you that themselves. We could tell it just by being around them. It's no bull or BS to at the same time. They're very authentic about it, but you could tell that they're friends. Some of them have been friends for quite a while. Some of them grew in to be friends, but friendship is definitely the foundation of those relationships. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yep, that is very true. And yeah, that's a good thing. I was hoping that this week, others, people who are watching, would would feel comfortable enough to share with us, or say something, or um, give us something. Like last week, that was a good conversation that we ended up having, um, and I was really, I enjoyed that. And when I say I enjoyed it, I am not trying to reduce it to the level of, a TV show or something like that. But instead, what I'm talking about is, um, the spontaneity of it, and the difference in the give and take, and things of that sort. It was just different, and it was good.
Yeah, definitely. I think someone asked a question one time. Yeah, and on the last one, if I remember, something to do with they had a heartbreak, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I hope everything's going good for them. Though heartbreaks during this time of the season, probably not a very good thing.
Right.
Probably not a good thing. When we start taking our relationships for granted, the holiday season for some people would bring out the fact that what I've been taking that person for granted all this time is the fact that I'm taking out my time, and my time that I'm taking out is something that I'm not even valued.
Right.
That's right. When you're in a relationship with someone you care about, if you start taking them for granted, you are also taking your time out for granted.
Yes.
Because it's you who's spending your time with them.
Yeah.
And so if you take your time out and say, I'm taking them for granted, they're not this important, they're really boring, blah, 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 blah. Well, you are still around them. You're still relating to them. That means their time is taking your time, and vice versa.
Yeah. And if you're with somebody who is boring, maybe you need to do something to jazz up the moment.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're just not capable of doing that.
Or they don't have, as you have told me many times before in past elements or past lessons that we brought up, which is I have no experience.
Yeah.
I didn't see my parents do this. I didn't see myself in TV shows. Maybe TV shows didn't look like me and the actors, and I didn't feel drawn to it. Right. Bottom line is I've got no experience about it whatsoever.
And you also have to take in that is very
that's
true.
What you brought up.
Yeah, that's very true, and it is it's a very real factor. But you also have to take into consideration that what is what's boring to one person may not be to another person. And so that's another thing that you have to do, is kind of feel your partner out and find out what is exciting for them. Find out if you can fit into that. Because sometimes what will keep them from being bored is not something that's within you.
Love language. Hey, don't you forget that? Come on, counselor.
No, I absolutely coach. Coach. But I definitely do understand
it's the love language. Can we get? Well, it's about trying to understand their love language.
Exactly.
What is their love? Exactly. Like during the holidays, you're coming up with something that I'm not really down with. Didn't do when I was younger. Didn't grow up to really grew up poor, welfare, and all that other stuff. Bad stuff, good stuff, all depends. And on the holidays, we didn't do no dress and dazzle. I remember Kentucky Fried Chicken for holidays to eat. By the way, I have to show you. Someone has pushed and had me take a look at my 1976 high school yearbook.
Oh wow.
I got to show you some of the pictures. And if you see a picture of me, you go, oh, shoot. But anyway, so did I. And my cousins and relatives are also in there too. But still, back to the point is that you are doing something special that is part of your love language that I'm going to participate in, and participating in it, which is showing my love towards you and respecting your love language. I'm not necessarily loving your love language, but respecting your love language. That we were talking about it, and I'm going to address it. Want you? Excuse me, I just gave it away. Why don't you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, we always, if we're going someplace, we dress up. If
we don't go enough dress up places. You got to go to Atlanta and New York more.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
We don't go enough places here in Savannah. I think the TV station. excuse me, the media here. The media here. I think what's it?
Our Black Media.
All Black Media. Thank you for helping me out. Because I'm thinking about two different places, two of other shows we're on. I have some kind of Christmas party that's coming up, and inviting everybody as the host to come out, so on and so forth. Might be a chance to go and I can dress as a pumpkin. No, I can go by. We can dress in dazzle. Just because we old don't mean we ain't the shits.
That's right.
We can still dress down if we come down to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My Superfly suit. No, anyway.
Be all spiffy and snazzy.
Spiffy and snazzy. Oh, I didn't do spiffy. I did do snazzy. I don't know who those two folks are. But anyway, you're coming up with something. What you tell us about the holiday?
Yeah. See, as I was saying, we always want to dress up when we go someplace. We dress up and go to church, and as soon as we get home, we take it off. Yeah. We dress up and go to work, and as soon as we get home, we take it off. We dress up and go to the club, and as soon as we get home, we take it off. And that is no matter what. Why do we do that? Why is home the place that we don't dress up? And so for me,
because the other person being a partner ain't that important. ain't no superstar.
Yeah.
It's home. Why'd I care for it?
That's one of the things that I've always enjoyed doing. I have always enjoyed dressing up. I would, and I love dresses. So I loved, I get up in the morning and I put on a nice dress and comb my hair. And
you got to work all day like that, being a school teacher. So you always dress and dazzle when you leave. Okay, I'll be quiet.
I don't always dress and dazzle.
I said I'll be quiet.
To my standards.
I know. It's just me. I'm not a very dress and dazzle kind of person. I can wear what I need to wear to look good, and I know that, but that's just not my authenticity from that end. So carry on.
But it's and it's one of those things that I know a lot of people don't, and they really don't have to, but that's something that makes me feel good about me.
Yeah, that's your love language.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not that kind of person that will spend hours in the mirror looking and turning this way and turning that way. I just
pick up the phone that you see now.
Yeah, I
and
don't do
Facebook and just look at yourself and bob your hair,
stand in the mirror with my phone so that I can
do
see
that
the whole
for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And you ain't looking at nobody but yourself.
I know.
But your audience that are not outside of your doors, someplace
that you're hoping is watching,
looking at you.
And that's never been me. I like to dress up, but I will dress up at home. I will dress up, and you've seen me do it. I will dress up at home and cook dinner.
Yes, you will.
Because
holidays.
To me, it is a feminine thing to do. That's for me. Not saying it's for anybody else or that you should feel that way, but it makes me feel very feminine and sensual when I do that. Now, I did not say sexual. I said sensual. There's a big difference. And so I like doing that. And so I thought, we could do something just a little bit different at Christmas time.
We usually dress up
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Christmas time. I can't remember last Christmas what we did, but
last Christmas,
did we go out that day or do we eat inside?
No, I cooked.
Yeah. But I don't know if we dressed or not. But if we're going to do it this time, it's fine with me.
Yes, yeah. I don't know that we did last time because we were where we were really out and about and stuff, and we didn't take time out to really dress up. But I think this time it would it would definitely be a good thing and something kind of different to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I guess it's brings back something from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Christmas Day, we would all, you know, we'd get up, we'd open presents and do all that and play a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother would have breakfast ready, and we would all go have breakfast, and then we would get dressed, and the rest of the day, you know, we were dressed nice. We'd have a nice, you know, dressed nice for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
People came by, you know, and things like that. Um, you know, it was just one of those fun times, and we all felt good about ourselves.
I'm thinking to myself when you talk about it. I'm thinking sometimes in our relationship, we are too busy trying to relate in a relationship as if we're trying to press a crowd,
Yeah.
as if we're on TV and we have an audience. Again, because of Facebook and because of the internet and social media, we always feel that we have to be at the center of attention and that we have to have a crowd.
Hmm.
So in our relationship, we're more relating to one another from the standpoint in connection to my crowd. I think about the Atlanta Housewives.
Oh
I think
Lord.
about the shows that have to do with the singles, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And every one of them are all about trying to give them perception that even I'm in my home, even I'm with somebody else, you can know there's a camera around
Yeah.
videotaping, and you
Yeah.
call it scripted reality. So we need to really think that in a thriving, in a balanced relationship, we are really not trying to relate to one another in connection to a crowd,
Right.
what the crowd thinks,
Hmm.
what our audience thinks.
Yes.
It is about having a relationship that is concerned about what each other
Hmm.
thinks. Even if nobody's around, we are about having this relationship with each other,
Yes.
not a whole bunch of people.
Right.
And because of that, that was one of the reasons why I suffered to be. No, I said, I'm just joking.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and dress up because you want it, and
Yeah,
you'll see me. I'm assuming you're gonna dress me up. I'm assuming. Do I have to dress myself?
we'll dress you.
Okay, good, because I wear my usual kind of work kind of outfit. But
I
anyway,
know.
I know. So, but I got enough clothes in there. I have different sets of clothes that I
Do
know I
you
do. I
ever?
know I keep on
Yeah.
buying, but I never wear them. But I'll be glad to do that. And then we'll make sure we take a couple of pictures
Yeah.
for the kids who are way far away, never want to come in. Can you believe we have kids that when we were younger, if we had parents that lived down in the warm part of the world,
I would have been
Florida,
there.
near beaches, they would try to be there. It's not like they can't afford it. They would be there every day. They're invited,
I
and
know.
even when we're invited, they would
I
still come.
definitely would.
None of them want to come. I know it ain't because of the fact that we are ugly, we smell, anything like that. We don't. They're so busy doing their own thing, selfie
Yes.
and all. They got no time. Ain't nobody got no
Anybody got time for us?
that. And that's really too bad because they're missing out. I say again, just because we're old don't mean we still not the shits.
Yeah.
So they're missing out. We're not missing out. But
Exactly.
we're going to enjoy that too, aren't we?
Yes, yes.
Because I think Krista, we'll be right by the ocean.
Oh
So we'll
yes,
get out to the
yes.
ocean more than once.
We'll probably start the day at the ocean,
Yeah, that'd be
and
nice. Hopefully it's not going to be cold.
even if it is,
Oh, okay.
pull out the
Excuse
long
me.
johns and go.
Long Johns.
Yeah, I don't know. You know.
Oh,
You
okay.
said it's
Oh, yeah,
cold.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I'm just,
Colorado cold reminds
yeah,
me of Long
exactly,
John's
exactly,
real quick.
exactly. Hopefully it won't be that cold. The
No.
lighting won't be that cold
I don't think
from
so.
that end, but it's going to be real nice.
Yeah.
I guess the need to say again, that's your love language.
Mhm.
In doing the holiday seasons, if you don't have family and you don't have, I can keep the cameras up there and keep looking down. Anyway, if you don't have family and you don't have even friends around, or if you do, find a friend.
Yeah.
Find an older person too. Some people in elderly homes, they need someone to talk to, someone to relate to. I know when my mom was in an elderly home and I tried to take care of her until she passed away. In fact, I did. The rest of my brothers and sisters, they just bamuski or just left whatever and left it to me. And I
Right.
was supposed to be called the black sheep of the family. So much for negativizing that terminology with being black, because black is not negative, and the idea of being black is not a negative idea or connotation at all. But anyway,
Yes.
I took care of her until she passed away from that particular. And so, and all those older people that I would see in those elderly homes when doing those holidays when I came to visit her, there was nobody there. They
Yeah.
were all by themselves. I'd stop and say hi and see how they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. The first time I went to elderly folks' home, I thought there was some kind of EBGBs going on from the standpoint that all of a sudden I'm going to get old. I'm going to, turn to a ragamuffin and end up being in the same room with them, which is just, a whole bunch of just stereotypes. But after you get over that, your own self and your own pride in this particular ego, to be exact, those older people just are dying for people to come visit them.
It's like
That
one
was the
day.
wrong thing saying dying, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
But
It's
they were.
like one day we went to
Mhm.
we had gone to visit your mother, and we were walking down the hall. I think we were leaving,
Mhm.
and some lady just struck up a conversation with me, and you're looking at me like, why are you even talking to her?
No, I was looking at more. Did you know her? That's what it was. Because it seems so personal. Because that's what they do. That's what
Yeah,
it was. Like,
yeah.
do you know her?
I hadn't seen the lady before in my
And
life.
she probably act like she knew you.
She probably thought she did.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But we weren't on an Alzheimer's wing at all, too. But I
Yeah, but
understand
she
that.
had it. She had
Oh, she did.
dementia.
Oh, she
Oh
had
yeah, I
dementia.
could tell
Okay.
she had dementia.
Okay.
I've been around dementia enough. I knew she
Yeah.
had dementia. That's why I went on and talked
But
to her.
wasn't that something?
Yeah.
You could spend your time if you was a person that was about I needed conversation to feel unbored or feel like I'm alive. Go to a elder folks place or home. I don't want to call it home because it's not so much home for some a lot of abuses going on there. But go there. They will talk your ears off.
Yeah. And
I
they
mean,
need it. They need
yeah.
it. When I was younger, at Christmas time,
Mhm.
we at Christmas and Easter, the church choir where I went, the youth group would always go and on a Saturday, and we would play games with them and spend time with them, sing songs and do
Mhm.
different things like that. And the ones that would come into the common area to take part in it, they would come in, and they would come in like um, sort of down and everything.
Mhm.
But by the time we left, and we would bring gifts for them and everything, by the time we left, they were all smiling and laughing. We would play bingo, and I mean, they just loved bingo, and we would have to help some of them play bingo. But not only did they get something great out of it, so did we.
Yeah.
You know, it made us feel um, more excited, more like we had a purpose, like we had contributed something worthwhile, and we left with a different frame of mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one day you and I and we are going to be at that age where we're not necessarily going to be able to use our body the way we've been using it. We're going to say, hey, do, and the body is going to say, no, I'm not going to do it. It ain't going to happen. Or when we're going to try to think, and maybe our thoughts go, hello, 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 I'm over here. And you thought you was over there. What I'm saying is we all could get to that particular period of time in our age, in our life too. We've got to take our time out to feel. If that happened, wouldn't we want someone else around?
Yes.
If your mate is not there to be that partner, companion with you in that time, then you're going to want to have someone. If your family is not going to be around, a lot of our older family or younger family, I call them older where they act sometimes, they're not going to be around just like ours. They're not going to be around. They think they're going to live forever. And one day they're going to be in a position, they're going to wish that they did things differently. Anywhere it goes, you could be with your mate and end up both being in the home, and it may not be your home. The need for us to be able to give back in the community and give back in our life and give back to elderly folks. That's where I'm going to right now. That's why I'm going that direction, especially during the holidays. It's a heck of a gift to give if you are alone, if you don't have friends, and if you don't have people in your area or your tribe here. Go there. They certainly can need you there.
Yeah. And and the other thing too is if you are in a relationship, but somebody who is not, invite them over.
Yeah.
I used to way back in my other lifetime, living out of the country, and a lot of others were out of the country. I would make dinner for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and always.
You first married with in with the army?
Air Force.
Oh, the Air Force. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should have watched that.
And I would,
Anyway.
I would always say to him,
Mm.
invite some of the folks you work with over that,
Mhm.
they were single.
Mhm.
They, didn't have any family down there.
Single,
You know,
couldn't find no place to mingle.
yeah,
Isn't that something? On some holidays, there ain't no place to mingle.
yeah.
Even though you might find some bars, you
Mm-hmm.
might find some. When I was single, I remember because I had no family in town, and
Yeah.
I remember there were some bars and there's some places that you could go out and eat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you went to pick up something to eat, but even when you were in there, everybody could tell when you looked at what there was food was, where's somebody I could get to know?
Yeah.
Because everybody seemed to look lost during this
Yeah.
holiday because they had
Yeah.
really nobody to connect with.
Right. Right. And that's not a good place to be.
No,
Not a good place to be.
no.
Alone on a holiday,
Mhm.
alone when everybody else is you assume everybody else is with somebody and you
Mhm.
want to be with somebody.
Exactly.
That's not a good place to be. So reach out to people. Think about yourself in being in
Reach
that
out
situation.
and touch
Exactly.
somebody's
Life.
hand. You remember that song, don't you?
I do. I definitely
Exactly.
remember that.
Hey, you can also find us on WRUU Saturdays at what in the morning?
9 in the morning,
9 in
from
the
9
morning.
to 10.
Oh, yeah.
WRUU. Always. I think we're doing the open forums there too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
But right now,
They've got some kind of shindig coming up. We might think about to see if we can. Oh no, we won't be able to. We won't be in town.
okay.
Yeah, I forgot. We're getting ready to go out of town. We won't be back in this area until almost next year.
Yeah.
So, except for we can still do live streaming from where we're at, our little bat cave, but otherwise, we will be out of town.
Yeah.
We kind of told where we're going to be in the beach, didn't we?
Yes.
But don't come follow us.
But
We are not going to answer.
but that's the thing. But we will still be doing the show, even though we'll be
Exactly. We
out
might
of
try to
town.
do the show right from the beach.
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh yeah, we'll just do the show right from the beach. Just sit in the chair, and you sit in the chair. We'll be like Snoop Dogg. We'll have a course and we'll and we'll do the
it's
show
a Corona,
right from the beach. Okay, it's
yeah,
a Corona.
in our
then.
nice little chairs and just kind of kick
Exactly.
back.
I'd rather do a
Yes.
rum and a Coke, Picard to be exact. But yeah, okay.
Yes.
You like your chocolate?
My chocolate wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
We might
yeah.
just do that. I might see if I can put that together. But Saturday, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on WRUU. You can also go online
Mhm.
too at the same time. Right below, you can see what that www.wruu.org. And then we have our other show, Taking the Journey, which we talked about before. I'm going to Facebook and kind of pick up these shows that we do because we plaster them. Oh, no, excuse me. We post them on there so you can watch them over and over, from
Yeah.
then in, which is always good because you
Yeah.
may not get what we said the first time
Yeah.
or have to put it in the freezer, deep freezer, and pull it back out and use it again.
I look at it as looking at as
Alice in Wonderland, look at the
reading.
looking glass.
No, as reading a good book.
Oh, okay.
Because if you read a book and it's really good and you have to read it again,
Mm-hmm.
you always find something in it that you missed the first time. I had to read this one book.
I read comic books, so I never want to read them again.
You could do the
Throw them
same.
aside.
Okay, well, okay.
No, I'm just so
Your stacks and stacks.
exactly.
Yes.
You have stacks records. Hey,
Yes.
I wanted to move to this one.
Yes.
No. This weekend. Tell us about what's going on this weekend. Want to invite everybody out this weekend
Oh.
at the end of the year for a great event. We can pick up some special Christmas
trees.
toys
So
and
what you telling
presents.
them?
Well, I might as well. No, go ahead. They like your voice. Go ahead, because I
Oh,
talk too
please.
much already.
No. We are on River Street. Unity in the
Mhm.
Community is on River Street.
Mhm.
And we are having our final closeout of this year. We'll start up again in March. But come on out, enjoy the music, enjoy the vendors, enjoy seeing what is the new, what things you can find for Christmas presents, especially for that hard to buy for person. And
Mhm.
everybody knows one of those.
Mm,
Anyway,
mm.
mine is sitting right next to me.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes. And so, come out and do that. That from on Saturday, Friday and Saturday,
Mhm.
from 8 to 10, we have the River Party where the DJ plays music and people are out there on the plaza in front of the stage,
Mhm.
dancing and everything. We're right down from the riverboats, and so you can't miss us. When you get down on River Street with all the tents and things, you will know that you're at the right place. It is Unity in the Community on River Street, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, it's from 11 o'clock to 10 p.m. And on Sunday, it's from 11 o'clock to 6 p.m.
Also, too, we're doing another event. This is our third annual
Yes.
community give back movie. That's right. We don't just do great things for starving artists down on River Street through
Yeah.
our nonprofit organization. For the last couple of years, we've been doing a couple of things in Richmond Hill,
Mhm.
Georgia, Richmond Hill, Georgia. So we're going to be doing a third annual Christmas community give back. We're going to have a motorcycle, a Corvette club, both of them Afro-American clubs. We're going to have people out there helping people to register to vote. We're going to also have a cookout with hamburgers and hot dogs. And we'll have some key people will come down and we'll be talking to the individuals, the young people, the BIPOC people that we'd like to reach out to in Richmond Hill. And it's going to be at Ashton Apartment. And we're inviting people at the Plantation Apartment and the whole community, Piercefield, over there in that what we call Rental Alley or Rental Street, which is Harris Trail. So anyway, it's going to be this Saturday from 5 to about 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Come on down. And our community movie, or before we do a movie, we're giving out presents that day.
Yes.
We're having a raffle, TV, stereo equipment, stuff like that is going to be raffled off.
Mhm.
So you got to
Yeah.
come at the same time. What is our movie that we're going to
hold
go
on.
ahead?
We're also taking donations. So
Oh, okay.
if anyone wants to donate something that we can raffle
Good time
off.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Time, definitely.
Exactly.
Last year, it was, I will never
You
forget.
can use that
last
telephone
year.
number down there,
Yes.
912-495-8838.
I'll never forget last year when somebody
Gotta wrap it up.
donated a bike, and the little boy that won it was just like beside himself.
And he was writing all over the place.
Yeah, he forgot his name. He forgot what school he went to. Everything. He was so excited.
We got to wrap it up real quickly
Okay.
because I know our engineer in the back was ready to wrap us up. But listen, the movie is called Jingle Jangle, so you got to come. Good movie, 10 years in the making. A young black couple put together a very good Christmas
Yes.
movie. We really love it, especially for young people, young girls and young boys. You got to come see the show, again, called Jingle
And
Jangle.
even people our age, because
Exactly.
I
We love
absolutely
it.
love it.
Okay. Hey, until
And so
next
do you.
time, we're going to say happy holidays. If we're going to hear from you again, until next year, God bless.
No,
Ashe.
next week.
No, next week. Yeah. God bless. Ashe. And engineer, you can take the show. We're over. Bye now.
Like this.